Good evening from New York. I'm Chris Hayes. Donald Trump's administration has been attacking free expression since he got back into office, threatening critics with prosecution, targeting colleges and law firms, deporting protesters or student op-ed writers, or putting them into detention, who are here on legal visas for the views they expressed, and then arresting people who protest the deportations. None of it's been particularly popular. The White House's latest overreach appears to have ignited an angry national backlash, openly using the threat of government power to pressure one of the country's biggest, most storied corporations, Disney, to indefinitely suspend ABC late-night host Jimmy Kimmel for offending MAGA sensibilities. It's Trump's most high-visibility authoritarian attack on free speech, and yet that's really saying something. Hundreds of demonstrators, many of them writers and actors, gathered outside Kimmel's Hollywood studio today, as well as Disney's Burbank offices and ABC's Manhattan headquarters, to protest his suspension. Meanwhile, Google searches for cancel Disney Plus spiked across the country as droves of social media users posted they were ending their subscriptions to the media giant's app. And in a rare public comment, Michael Eisner, the former longtime CEO of Disney, took to social media to blast the company and its capitulation to the government. Quote, "Where has all the leadership gone?" The suspending indefinitely of Jimmy Kimmel immediately after the chairman of the FCC's aggressive yet hollow threatening of the Disney company is yet another example of out-of-control intimidation. Even some Republicans recognize his censorship campaign for what it was and are openly expressing worry about the precedent it sets. On his podcast today, Senator Ted Cruz, that Ted Cruz, likened Trump's FCC Chairman Brendan Carr to a mobster.
And so he threatens explicitly, we're going to cancel ABC's license. We're going to take them off the air so ABC cannot broadcast anymore. And I got to say, he threatens it. He says, we can do this the easy way, or we can do this the hard way.
Yeah.
And I got to say, that's right out of Goodfellas. That's right out of a mafioso coming into a bar going, nice bar you have here. It'd be a shame if something happened to it.
The questionable and wildly oscillating accent aside, Cruz was not exaggerating. Today, when Trump was asked about Ted Cruz comparing the FCC chairman to a mobster, the president defended his man and managed to sound like a mob boss.
These airways, they make millions and millions of dollars. The news makes millions of dollars. ABC, your network. I mean, your network wrote very badly about me, and they had to pay me $16 million.
So do you think you have a right, or that Brendan Carr has a right to take away the licenses? No, I think Brendan Carr is a patriot. I think Brendan Carr is a courageous person. I think Brendan Carr doesn't like to see the airwaves be used illegally and incorrectly and purposely horribly. Doesn't like to see a person that won the election in a landslide get 97% bad publicity before the election.
It was a pretty narrow victory, actually, electorally speaking. Meanwhile, Jimmy Kimmel hasn't been fired. The show hasn't been canceled yet, but it seems increasingly likely ABC's suspension won't be reversed. Two insiders told Rolling Stone that the lead up to Kimmel's suspension, multiple executives at ABC, Disney, and their affiliates, quote, felt Kimmel had not actually said anything over the line, but the threat of Trump administration retaliation loomed. That threat of government retaliation in the form of Trump's Federal Communications Commission is precisely what puts this censorship campaign in just a completely different category from any past instance where local stations refuse to air network content.
Has there ever been anyone you felt you clicked with? And what was his name?
Susan.
That was a special 1997 episode of the ABC sitcom Ellen, in which the character played by real-life lesbian Ellen DeGeneres finally came out. It was boycotted by family values groups who succeeded in getting at least one network affiliate in Alabama to refuse to air the episode. That was about it. Then in 2003 came the Dixie Chicks, that's the hit country band whose lead singer, Natalie Maines, told a London crowd this as the Iraq War loomed. I lived through that, and the public backlash was swift and enormous. I mean, scores of radio stations banned their DJs from playing the Dixie Chicks for years. Some even suspended DJs
for Republicans,
who broke the ban.
The current trajectory
the
raises
had to
concern.
Basically break up for more than a decade. But in neither that case nor in Ellen was there overt government pressure for censorship from an FCC chair making mobster-like threats. The only thing that might come close was back in July when CBS announced it was canceling Stephen Colbert's late night show at the end of the season. And the president of the United States celebrated, posting to social media, quote, "I hear Jimmy Kimmel is next." Last night, Colbert noted the similarities between his case and Kimmel's.
So a company apparently capitulating to the whims of the president in order to ensure their merger goes through? Has that ever happened before? And what's that? What? I can't. What? Oh, I'm being told not to answer that question.
All this is happening because Trump is weaponizing the Federal Communications Commission in ways that never really been done before.
That margin
The FCC has been around for nearly a century. It was created as part of the New Deal to ensure fairness in broadcasting and to regulate the then nascent growing broadcast networks, both radio and then TV. And it was designed as a nonpartisan agency that's independent from the executive branch. It's not part of the White House. It's not part of the cabinet. That independence has always been the responsibility of the FCC's 5 leading commissioners, and they're picked by presidents, confirmed by the Senate for 5-year terms. Thanks to resignations under Donald Trump, there are now only 3 commissioners at FCC. There's Brendan Carr, Trump's chairman. There's Trump's latest appointee, a former Republican Senate staffer, and there is 1 Democrat on the FCC. Her name is Ana Gomez. She worked in a variety of roles at the FCC before she was appointed as a commissioner by Joe Biden in 2023. She joins me now. It's wonderful to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Before I get into this, just what's it like to work there right now?
It's really alarming. I am very alarmed by this administration's campaign of censorship and control. It is damaging to our democracy. It is censoring what the broadcasters can or cannot say about this administration or whatever ideology this administration wants to espouse. And that's not good for our democracy.
Do you think that Brendan Carr's statements were defensible or appropriate uses of his power as commissioner?
I think it's very important to say that the FCC does not have the authority, the constitutional right, or the ability to take action against broadcasters because the FCC does not like.
The Trump administration's escalating campaign against free expression has reached a new flashpoint, with federal regulators openly pressuring Disney to indefinitely suspend late-night host Jimmy Kimmel over jokes perceived as offensive to supporters of the president. The move, decried as an authoritarian assault on speech, has sparked widespread protests, subscription cancellations, and rare bipartisan concern about the weaponization of government authority. Hundreds of demonstrators, including writers and actors, rallied outside Kimmel's Hollywood studio, Disney's Burbank headquarters, and ABC's Manhattan offices to condemn the suspension. Social media erupted with users vowing to cancel Disney Plus subscriptions, driving a nationwide spike in related Google searches. In a pointed social media post, former Disney CEO Michael Eisner lambasted the company for yielding to intimidation, questioning the absence of leadership and calling the episode yet another example of out-of-control intimidation. Even within Republican circles, unease has surfaced. On his podcast, Senator Ted Cruz likened FCC Chairman Brendan Carr, whom President Trump appointed, to a mobster from the film Goodfellas, accusing him of mafia-style threats to revoke ABC's broadcast license unless it complied. "We're going to cancel ABC's license? We can do this the easy way or the hard way," Cruz quoted Carr as implying, evoking a gangster's veiled menace. Trump defended Carr during a press interaction, portraying the chairman as a patriot safeguarding the airwaves from illegal misuse. The president cited a $16 million settlement ABC paid him over past coverage and complained of networks delivering 97% bad publicity before his election, a claim disputed as exaggerated given his narrow electoral victory. Trump argued broadcasters must demonstrate honesty and integrity under licensing rules, suggesting relentless negative portrayals, including comedic jabs, could justify revocation. Insiders familiar with ABC and Disney deliberations told Rolling Stone that executives privately agreed Kimmel's remarks did not cross any lines but capitulated amid fears of regulatory retaliation. This distinguishes the incident from prior self-censorship episodes. In 1997, an Alabama affiliate boycotted an Ellen episode featuring the characters coming out, prompted by conservative groups, but no federal intervention occurred. Similarly, in 2003, the Dixie Chicks faced a multi-year radio blackout after lead singer Natalie Maines criticized then-President George W. Bush at a London concert. Stations even suspended DJs for defying the ban, forcing the band into a decade-long hiatus. Those were market-driven pressures, not overt government coercion. A closer parallel emerged last July when CBS announced the end of Stephen Colbert's late-night show. Trump celebrated on social media, posting, "I hear Jimmy Kimmel is next." Colbert later drew the connection on air, joking about corporate capitulation to presidential whims amid merger approvals, echoing Disney's current vulnerabilities. At the heart of the controversy lies the Federal Communications Commission, a nearly century-old New Deal-era agency designed to regulate broadcasting impartially and foster fairness without executive overreach. Intended as nonpartisan, the FCC operates independently of the White House, with 5 commissioners serving staggered 5-year terms. Resignations have left it with just 3 members: Carr, a Trump loyalist, a recent Republican appointee, and Democrat Ana Gomez, elevated by President Biden in 2023. Gomez, a veteran FCC staffer, expressed deep alarm in a recent interview, describing the administration's tactics as a campaign of censorship and control that erodes democracy. She emphasized that the FCC lacks constitutional or statutory power to punish broadcasters for editorial choices or comedic content. "The First Amendment prohibits us from censoring broadcasters," she said, adding that the Communications Act explicitly bars such interference. Threats like Carr's, she argued, create a chilling effect, prompting preemptive self-censorship to secure license renewals, mergers, or eased ownership caps, all pending before the agency. Gomez deemed the implicit quid pro quo, regulatory favors for speech policing, unlawful, violating both the Constitution and the Communications Act. While the FCC can regulate in the public interest, she clarified, that standard cannot be twisted into a tool for silencing critics. License revocations are exceedingly rare. The most recent involved a station off-air for over a year. A 2024 Supreme Court ruling in Murthy v. Missouri, 9-0, further barred government coercion of private entities to suppress disfavored views. Historically, the FCC has resisted White House pressure to preserve its autonomy. In the 1960s, Chairman Newton Minow rebuffed President John F. Kennedy's push to yank a broadcaster's license, deeming independence essential. Congress structured the agency this way, evolving from the 1920s Federal Radio Commission to avoid entrusting a vital medium to one political party's whims. Trump's rhetoric evokes a revived fairness doctrine, axed in 1987, positing that lopsided negativity equates to bias warranting intervention. Gomez rejected this, noting it would flout First Amendment protections. As broadcasters navigate these threats, the Kimmel saga underscores a precarious shift, an agency meant to safeguard open discourse now accused of stifling it, testing the guardrails of American media freedom.